step right up and get your tickets for another moment in gaming history.
Hey guys, welcome back to your next moment in gaming history. What I have for you today is one of the oldest game types, and one that's become hugely influential over the years, because today we're going to talk a bit about a procedural game design, more accurately, the beginning of the genre, because while many of you have heard of roguelikes, most of you I'm guessing have little to no exposure to Rogue, the game that started it all. Rogue, also known as Rogue Exploring the Dungeons of Doom, is a video game designed by Michael Toy and Glenn Wickman that was developed around 1980. In the game, characters control an avatar as they explore various different levels of the game, seeking out the Amulet of Yondor. Along the way, characters can pick up treasure and items to help them along their way, some defensively focused and others offensively. This is a turn-based affair, which was done by design. This allowed players to assess the situation each turn before making a move or choosing to attack a monster. This was key, because this kind of game introduced permadeath. That's right, when you die in Rogue, that character is done. You must start the dungeon all over again, and for those of you thinking, no big deal, I know where things are now. Sadly, you're in for a surprise, because each time you enter a level, it's randomized using a procedural algorithm. When you go down a level, it's the same thing. Even when you return to a previous level, it's regenerated and new as a new level. This has become one of the core pillars of this type of game. You never know, from game to game, and from level to level, what you're going to find. Part of the reason this worked in 1980 when it was released is it was all ASCII based, so all the real work was around the logic design and how they wanted the rooms to look. This too was pretty basic, because as far as the design goes, usually it was a couple of hallways connecting rooms that may or may not have an encounter. The challenge was finding your way around the stage and managing your resources so you can make it to the end of the dungeon. This was a key change to the way games have been designed. See, up until this point, pretty much all games were designed with fixed stages and puzzles. This made it so once you completed the game, there was nothing left to explore and very little replayability. Developers, as a result, would very rarely ever play their games, as they already knew the solutions to most of the puzzles. So this became a simple yet powerful idea that led for huge amounts of replay and flexibility in gameplay, as no two runs would be alike. It immediately became popular among college students, spawning multiple other games like Hack, Moria, among many others. In fact, David Brevik stated that he was heavily inspired by the ensuing genre known as roguelike when he came up with the idea for Diablo. Today, we have a huge number of roguelike games, with hundreds if not thousands of them flooding the indie gaming scene, and even starting to make it into the AA and AAA scene with games like Returnal and Hades. The randomness of the power-ups and items make each run feel challenging to the player. Since they can't always go back to the same tactics they used last time, they have to explore new ones and make new combinations in order to succeed. The ability to carry over stats and abilities from one run to the other gives the player a sense of progression so that even an entire run isn't lost and they have a feeling that they have bettered their chances on the next run. It's clear to me that at least the Rogue seeded the ground for the school of thought that has enhanced the gameplay experience for games years and years after its initial release in 1980, with people finding new ways each day to adapt its lessons and make the gameplay experience more dynamic and more interesting run to run if you enjoy that kind of randomness that they offer. However, what do you guys think of roguelikes in general? Do you enjoy them? What are some of your favorite ones? What don't you like about them? Let me know in the comments. However, for now, I'd like to thank you guys for spending part of your day with me. If I could ask you for one more favor, if you could hit the like button, it really helps me out. And if you haven't, consider subscribing. That helps me out a ton. However, for now, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.